And yeah, man, just keep being innovative, man. Keep being innovative and keep growing yourself that way. And innovation, man. Upgrade yourself, man. Upgrade who you naturally are and what you naturally do in your journey, right? Because everybody has their own journey and walk, right? And they've picked up things and they've, built habits from their journey and their walk that have allowed them to grow and innovate positively and properly, right? So it's a matter of innovating things, right? Innovating things that are you know. And that's what I basically do with these oatmeal biscuits, oatmeal cookies, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what I do with this little natural, healthy hot chocolate drink, you know what I'm saying? And also with the other things that I cook, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a matter of just doing this stuff around the board, you know what I'm saying? Like things that you do, they start at ground level, but it's you know? And them things that start at ground level and are you build upon them and you turn them and make them into something much bigger, right? You innovate them, you know what I'm saying? And you watch them bring forth bigger fruit, more fruit, bear more fruit, right? And more abundance. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a matter of just doing yourself like that and just making sure you the things that you innovate, you want to be able to make sure uh you know what I'm saying, that you just give it to God, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that you give it to God, so because that's what's gonna bless you. And also understanding, man, that God created everybody to be different, right? Everybody is different, man. Everybody got their own little, creativity and their own stuff, right? And I feel like another thing is the important thing to know about like God and about like, you know what I'm saying, this whole life and everything. The most important thing to know is that everything is an all in one, man. It's all about diversity, man, and the functions of things, man. It's how things function. Like things function a certain way, and because things function a certain way, you know what I'm saying. That's what makes it unique. That's what makes it individual, and and it's about everybody's individuality and everybody else's individual functions that they do, and their contribution to life, their creations, right? What have they created? You know what I'm saying? What have they built? And what have they contributed to the universe? What have they contributed to society? You know what I'm saying? Or the world, right? What have they contributed? You know what I'm saying? And from what they've contributed, you know what I'm saying? Your ability to appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? Your ability to experience life and your ability to experience life, express life, and reinforce the things that have been created. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what's really this whole life thing is about, man. Like that's what's really this whole thing, you know what I'm saying, about God is really all about, man. Like it's about being able to experience, you know what I'm saying, the creation of God or the creation of man. You know what I'm saying? That what God put in man to build and make. You know what I'm saying? The ability to experience and the ability to express. You know what I'm saying? That's what the most important thing. And there are some people who are put on this planet that God put aside specifically to create something. You know what I'm saying? God put somebody else, you know what I'm saying, specifically a way to create something. And and that creation and that they have, you know what I'm saying, that's you know what I'm saying, that's what they've been put aside to make. You feel me? So that's all it's about, man. It's about like, you know what I'm saying, creation. You know what I'm saying? If we can get to that mindset to where we're not looking at religion and we're not looking at God in this sense of, you know, this all impervious thing, you know what I'm saying, thing that only accepts good, and you know what I'm saying, and doesn't accept people for who they are and doesn't understand people from who they are, and things like that. And everybody has to be perfect and uptight, and you know what I'm saying, and they got to be, you know what I'm saying, this one way. And but that's actually the opposite. And the important thing to know is that God literally, the biggest killer of God's gift and the biggest killer of your purpose is man's conception of what life should be and man's conception of what God is. That is the biggest killer of your purpose. And that's the biggest killer of people's purpose. And that's the biggest killer of God's purpose, is what man's conception of what life should be or man's conception of what God should be. and the way that you should walk. Because everybody has, you know what I'm saying, the society has a general way in which it structures things and that everything runs. Everything got to be like this. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to act this way. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't act this way, something wrong with you. And it's so built into you. It's so built into to us that a point to where like us consciously, we consciously think that like it's to a point to where it defiles our conscience because it's been so reinforced in us that we have to be this way or act this way or do this, you know what I'm saying, a certain way. And that's what stops us from doing something that could actually benefit God because it's our contribution. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, cause what I mean, like, it's like God created something. Um, he put something in you to do, right? He made you a certain way. You're not perfect. You're only a piece of God. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You're not the full thing. So you can only be the piece of God that God put in you. That's all you can be. That's all you can create. And it's as simple as that, man. And you're gonna have imperfections, man, because you're not a straight, narrow line and you're not perfect. So it's like when we get into this midpoint to where like we think that everything has to be one way or we, you know what I'm saying, everybody has to act a certain way, you know what I'm saying, and be like that's the biggest defiler of God's purpose because God literally looked back and saw the earth and said, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna create this. He sent you down in the earth for a specific reason because you know what I'm saying, he saw something on the earth and he's like, I'm gonna send you down here. I'm gonna send you down here to you know what I'm saying, because I want to add a little bit more of this. You feel me? I'm gonna send you down here because I want, you know what I'm saying, I want to create, I want to, you know what I'm saying, fix this or create something that's gonna balance out this. And it's like when we get into this big old conception of what, you know, of what, you know, God should be or life should be, we get away from God's creation and we get away from what God really wanted us to actually be. You know what I'm saying? Like we get away from that. Like we get away from what God put in our purpose and what God put in our mind, our hearts and our minds to be and to do, right? So like when we cater to certain things and we want to do certain things, like it's the fact that it's like when we want to do certain things, right? Um, it's like um, we want to express, we want to experience certain things, and we want to do certain things, right? And it's like when we want to do, like, you know what I'm saying, these certain things, it's like maybe we have too much of that, right? Maybe we watch too much TV, or maybe we eat too much food, or maybe we do something. Maybe we do go on too many walks, or maybe we work out too much. Maybe we do too. All this stuff, man, is like it's put in us to have an overflow of it for a reason. Like it's because God wants us to create something. You know what I'm saying? Like he intentionally made you that way to you know what I'm saying? He intentionally made you that way for a reason. So it's like that's the biggest thing that defiles us, man. For real, man. It's like man's conception of what we should be. Because it takes us away from, you know what I'm saying, what God put in us to create. And you know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is, man. And you know what I'm saying? If we get away from that purpose too long, you know, you know what I'm saying? You can't like what you create, um, what you create is important. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's important to God. Like that's what he put it in you for. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much hopefully so you know what I'm saying, hopefully that message got through, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody got that right there. Because I think that's important. But yeah, I think that's important right there. But yeah, um, I'm probably gonna conclude this live in a little bit because I'm tired, man. Well, I'm not tired, but you know what I'm saying. I've been up and you know running around and hooping, you know, pretty much most of the day. But yeah, y'all, man. Just the important thing, man, is to keep being innovative, man, and really tap into that creative side of you, that imaginative side of you, man. Regardless of what like anybody say, man. Like you know what I'm saying. It it's okay, man. As long as it's something, you know what I'm saying. It's okay, man. Like if you're someone who does this type of stuff, man, and especially, um, sometimes depending on your environment, it's hard to get away from, or I guess for anybody, it's hard to get away from the natural, or not natural, but it's hard to get away from the casual flow of what everybody's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that everybody's doing one thing one way. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's hard to get away from that. It's almost to a point to where I would actually, challenge myself or appreciate myself more by going the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Going against the grain. Like I appreciate myself a lot more by going against the grain than just by being just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? At this point, like you know what I'm saying? I'd be that much more happy and that much more appreciative of myself, you know. But yeah, create something, you know what I'm saying, different than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? That I can contribute and standing on that. You know what I'm saying? I'd much rather appreciate that than, what I'm saying, just by being the same as everybody else and being, what I'm saying, like normal like everybody else. Like, nah, that shit whack. That shit weak. You know? But yeah. Yeah, yo, that's my challenge, man. Like I said before though, man, like there's a difference, man. Like God put certain people aside though. You know what I'm saying? He put certain people aside to create something. You know what I'm saying? But there's other people that are here to experience. Everybody should experience, as a matter of fact, man. And when we stop experiencing life, then what are we living for? You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing, man, that we can't get away from, right? Experiencing, experiencing new things, experiencing new people. You know what I'm saying? Experiencing new environments and just experiencing life. And when we get away from experiencing and we get into this comfort zone, or not comfort zone, but we get into this box where we don't want to experience anything, we're dead. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. But what I will say is it's almost it's almost as if, man, like we are dead. Like when we stop experiencing, you know. So that's um that's the most important thing, you know, is to always be experiencing. Like, yeah, yeah. Um, like I said, man, that's why it's important, man, to just be. If you're not experiencing, you're creating, and if you're not creating, you're renovating, you're re-innovating, something, right? Because that's another big thing in life, man. It's your appreciation. It's appreciating what God has created, what man has created. Appreciating what God has put in somebody else to create. That appreciation is what brings life to what puts your flavor into what God has created. When you can put your flavor into what man has created and your life, and you can bring life into it and you can reinforce it. That is that is one of the most beautiful contributions you can make. It might be the most, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that is a beautiful contribution. That is the most beautiful contribution, is when you can put your flavor on on a creation. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the most important thing, man. Like when you can put your flavor on a creation, you know what I'm saying? So it don't even matter, like to a point to where if you even create something original, we'll always create something original the moment we put our flavor in it. You know what I'm saying? The moment we give praise to something, the moment we bring life, because when we give praise to something, You know what I'm saying? We bring life to it. When we experience something, we bring life to it. Like if man creates something, like if somebody was to create something, you know what I'm saying? You're you put life into it, man. The moment you entertain it, the moment you praise it, experience it, enjoy it, all that type of stuff, man. You know, all, all that stuff is life, man. All that stuff is life, man. You know, but yeah, y'all. I think I'm gonna conclude this live right here. Hopefully, y'all was able to receive something out of this live, and hopefully, you know, this really touches someone. You know, hopefully this really touches someone. But yeah, y'all, just make sure y'all are re-innovating. You know, I want to see y'all. You know what I'm saying? Re-innovating. You know what I'm saying? Like putting your flavor in things and creating. Creating new things. You know, and remembering that some people are set aside to create. You know, um, and it's a beautiful thing, man, when you can put your flavor on something, because you really bring life. You really bringing life to it, right? You really bring life to it. So your contribution is important, and your contribution does matter, and it does do something, right? To like, it does do something to the universe. It does do something to to uh, to society. It does do something, man. Like it does do something to mankind. Like when you bring praise to something, and when you put your flavor and contribution to it, Um, so yeah, um, I'm gonna conclude this, even if it's little, right? So I'm gonna conclude this live right here. Um, like I said, man, hopefully y'all can receive that, and hopefully this does something to somebody, and it really does something to y'all, man. And man, hope hopefully this does change the perception, man, of people's thinking, you know, and hope what I'm saying, of life, just life and stuff, you know, and 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 God even, to an what I'm saying, to an extent, and and just you know what this shit is really about, you know, what this shit is really about, you know. So hopefully, hopefully someone can receive that. Yeah, it's important, man. It's important that we, sticking to building our contributions and um, sticking to yourself, man, and really going back down into that childhood self, man, and really digging up and pulling out those things that, what I'm saying, that you imagine yourself doing and wanting to do, and the way you perceive things, what you honor and what you idolize, and all that type of stuff, and really just pulling it out and giving it to God, and really going back to those things and, and re-innovating those things, you know. reinnovating those things right there, man. You know, that's your contribution. You know, and it's beautiful. You know, it's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So understand that too. Understand that too, yo. But yeah, um, very beautiful, man. Very I think this is a beautiful live. Um, but yeah. Last thing I got to say to y'all is your is gonna be about your personality. Okay. Um, understand that, you know what I'm saying, really get to know yourself and your personality, you know what I'm saying? Uh, and understand your characteristics and knowing what God made you, how God made you, right? Knowing what, knowing your personality, knowing your some of your some of your characteristics, I guess I should say, if that's the word to use. Um, things like that, you know. Understanding that, because when you can understand your personality, it becomes that much easier and that much more difficult for the enemy to attack you. Because when you know your personality, it makes it that much more difficult for the enemy to pick apart. You know what I'm saying? Pick apart your systems, or you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Pick apart your emotions and you know what I'm saying? Pick you apart. Um, so with that being said, um, I'm gonna conclude. Uh, conclude this live right here. I know I keep saying that, but this time I think I'm actually gonna conclude it now. I think we've touched on all the points. Um, and yeah, um, yeah, y'all. Just a lot of information. Um, it's a lot, but yeah, but we're gonna conclude right here, y'all. We're gonna conclude right here. Um, yeah, y'all. Know yourself. Know yourself. Um, know yourself. Um, saying and use. Yeah. Don't let your personality stop you from God's purpose for your life. Uh-huh. Don't let your personality stop God's purpose in your life, because your purpose, you're going to have to go through some things in your person, you know what I'm saying, you know, in your personality that might, you know, you know what I'm saying, you might got to go through some things that through your personality, right? You know what I'm saying, to get to, you know what I'm saying, um to get to where you need to get to, right? Um, you might got to go through some things, right? So, yeah, um, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna conclude this, conclude this live, man. You know, just, um, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna conclude this live right here. Um, like I said, remember, you might have to go through your personality. You know what I'm saying? Some things uh to but um but you know what I'm saying, to get where you need to get to, but yeah. we're gonna conclude this live right here, y'all. We gonna catch y'all on the next one. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to kick back, relax, watch the rest of this game. So we out.